hopefully give online people a much better experience. So certainly hosting a role and we're recording it. So hopefully we can put it on YouTube for people to see later on. I have to turn someone's speakers on. So we'll have our normal thing. We've got Maan speaking to us tonight about businesses in South Africa. We'll have field trips notices and it's just phenomenal. Is there any guests tonight? Oh, welcome. Any new members? I've got a few, but I don't think basically Christchurch based. Anyway, I'll hand over to Richard and you can read this one.
Thank you, James. Well, you just basically just about done the introduction anyway, which is fine. Yeah. Anyway, so we've got Maan speaking to us tonight on his trip, focus on the Kruger Park in South Africa. And Maan, I'm really looking forward to this one.
Okay, well, thanks, Richard, for the introduction. And thank you all for coming here. So I'd like to share my experience when I spent a couple of weeks at Kruger National Park in South Africa. The first photo here is a panoramic photo for hundreds of African buffalo drinking water at one of the waterfalls. So we were on the other side, just so that you imagine the place. And also the elephants, wild dogs, giraffes, impalas, and all these things came and drank water in front of us. And we were on the other side where lions were waiting. So we were expecting something. Anyway, so I'll go through this. This one is actually. Use
you might need to do it on the. You do it on the.
Or do you do it?
Then we can do it.
Need a new battery.
So let's start.
Again. Start again, push it. Oh, sorry, too many.
I think you went too far. Yeah.
Fine.
Pass it back to Maan.
No, I'm
Yeah.
going to put a new battery in it.
So I've been in Kruger National Park about a couple of weeks in August to September is the dry season, although it's spring. It's a huge park, 20,000 square kilometers. And this is the map. It's 360 kilometers long, about 60 to 90 kilometers wide. That's a huge place. We stayed in 4 campsites, Satara, Windsor, Elephants, and Lower Sadi. And as you can see, Windsor is north, Elephants and Satara like in the middle, and Lower Sadi in the south. So we covered quite a bit of the park. In each of these campsite, we stayed about 3-4 days and went essentially hunting for animals and birds. And this is at the gate of each of these campsites, these 2 owls reminding people that it opens at 6 o'clock in the morning and shuts at 6 o'clock in the evening. We stayed in these huts. Although it's built in a traditional way, but actually they have air conditionings, kitchenette, beautiful bathroom and beds and all that, so it wasn't bad at all inside. So there are, we saw the big 5s, the magnificent 7, the ugly 5s, and all these things. There is all these commercial names for all animals actually are beautiful. And notably, there were more than 30,000 elephants in that park, but only 300 leopards. And I asked the question, why grass-eating animals are way more than meat-eating animals, and have no answer.
That was your work. This works now.
But, okay, so this is the team that I acknowledge that were with me. We were 6 from New Zealand. Ross, Jackie, Graham, my roommate, Rodney, is the guide, the local guide, the driver of the vehicle, Diane, and Janet, and Mark. Mark is actually lives in London, originally from South Africa, so he's very familiar with the Kruger National Park. Both Mark and Rodney are also brilliant photographers, and that helped a lot to give us tips and we know where to park the car. And this and behind us is the Elephant River. It's a fantastic river, although it's a dry season, but still got lots of water and beautiful. By the way, this is the only place that we managed to get off the car. We are not allowed to leave the car. It's only because this is a bridge. So most of the time we are sitting in the car, which is this one. So this is the arrangement. 6 of us with cameras. I have this huge lens, so it's really very heavy. So I have this bean bag to rest the lens on, especially when we're waiting for an hour or so for like a cheetah to just jump or do something. The middle seats, as you can see, they are empty, and there are 2 pillows on them to essentially rest the camera while the car is moving, and also have a cover to cover the cameras and lenses from any dust. So my camera that I used is the Canon R6 Mark II. 40 frames per second was very helpful in flying, and this is the 200 to 800 millimeter RF Canon lens. I took with me a monopod. I hardly used it because we're always sitting in the car, so we don't need it. And I shot RAW and JPEG. This is why I filled 1 terabyte with no cards. So the roads looks like something like this. This is the traffic. There's sometimes suddenly a giraffe will be in the middle of the road. These are examples of sealed roads, and you see those group of them running here. Some of the side roads are not sealed, so this is dusty. This is where we have to cover our cameras from dust, especially if there's another car coming. So we used to be in the car at 5:20 in the morning, although the gate opens at 6 o'clock, but so that we are the first. But we never be first. They always one or two cars before us. It's just so that when we go to these kind of roads, nobody will come, the dust doesn't end up with some. So I'll start my talk with how we start photographing things, which is early morning when the sun rises. And just look at the colors, and of course we have a bonus. Giraffe came while we photographing this. And the reason why this great, it's actually the dry season helped that because of the dust. And of course, the wavelength scatter more. The angle and all these things. This is spectacular. I did not change anything. This is the real color that we saw. So it's like for landscape photographers, it's green. Okay, this also give us an example. This is a riverbed, but as you can see, no water. So there is a little bit of water left here, and everybody comes here. There are lots of stock. Here, there are two different types of stock. I'll show you. There is a heron here. Those are the water bucks, the giraffes and elephants coming from here in here. But there are 3-4 crocodiles also in the water. If you can zoom in, you find that somehow they all live in harmony for the few fish left in the. But this really set the scene for what a dry season looks like. Everything is dry, all the rivers, little water, all the animals go here, and this gave us an opportunity to take this footage. So I'll start alphabetically with antelopes and go. So there are about 20 different antelopes in Kruger National Park. I'll show a couple of them. So this is called the bushbuck. Crossing this little ring. So I'll post like just 5 seconds each, just so that you see. Mainly when they have horn, it means that they're males. A group of impalas came to the water hole, drinking water. And we were on the other side where I showed you where we were in the car. So this is really a long distance. It's more than probably 80 meters or more. So 800 millimeters, very, very useful. My recommendation is that you take at least 600 millimeters to go here. And for birds, it's definitely many. So this is the only male in this group. Good. And better stop next. Another beautiful antelope is the cougar. These are again from the same water hole, group of females drinking water with lots of fox, figures, birds, who always accompanying them. The South African National Parks logo is actually the male of the cougar. So it's important. Antelope. The Nyala is very interesting antelope. This is the male. This is the female. There is no relations between them at all. Apart from if you look, they have kind of similar tail shape anyway. But it's really beautiful. Another group that came to the water hole is called the sable.
Oh, yeah.
And the guides say that this is really very rare, that we saw about 13 of them trying to drink water. This is the big male. The female still have that shorter and it's lighter color. So they came trying to drink water and they saw the lines. There were 3 male lines on this side. And they decided to go back with him, not work with him. So these are the smallest antelopes in South Africa. It could be in Africa also. The Simba, it's about 10 kgs less, so they are really pretty small. And the gray bog, this one is Ghana, so it only comes at sunset, but we were lucky to find it just before the sunset. And just look at the ears, a beautiful pattern in their ears. And they also very small. They actually smaller than the steamboat. So this is the African starling. And there are 2 types. Well, there are actually 3 types. I'm going to show 2 of them. The one that's in this orange eyes and the black eye. The reflection from sunlight is spectacular for these birds. They're very noisy, and actually nobody cares even to take photos of them because there's so many of them. But I find them really beautiful. I like the shadow. Beautiful bird. The African wild dogs is spectacular hunter, the most successful hunters in Africa. And again, with the 800mm, I managed to get these very close to these dogs. These were like 200 meters away. They were hunting. There were a group of impalas on that side, and they started chasing them. How does it go back now? Yes. So the African jacana is the greenback heron also as a bonus. The African jacana has a blue forehead. You remember the Australian one has red, and this one has a blue. So I have now a complete set from them. Just look at their feet. Beautiful. So this is early in the morning, and I love this baboon. It's looking that way, and the sun just lit the baboon, but I left the whole tree because I don't know the combination, but it's very artistic. And I love this. I have much closer photos, but I like this one. So this is what baboons do sometimes. They fight. And this is again an early morning, and the sun just, photography is all about light, isn't it? The light is coming from the right direction. You get some beautiful shots. Still, the white-fronted bee-eater. They have, of course, like 4 or 5 different bee-eaters, and this is one of them. Because of this little white here, the white-fronted bee-eater, and I have photos with bees in their beak, to catch them and all that. But of course, I'm sharing this for example. And this is where they nest. It's a cliff full with little holes that you can see they use to best keep their eggs. Those are tiny, small birds, like size of the goldfinch. And I managed to photograph them while we were waiting for lions to do something, because lions, they just lie, do nothing. We have to wait hours and hours for them to just stand up. Meanwhile, I look around and see those tiny little beautiful birds and photograph them. The blacksmith lapwing, there are heaps of them, but the one that I photographed came back to its nest. There are 3 eggs, as you can see. And the nest is actually nothing. Just, I don't know how they survive this. And this is close to a waterfall. And I noted that the bird went to the waterfall, cooled itself because it was really hot, waited itself and came back, sat on the eggs. I thought the eggs gonna fry otherwise, so they have to cool them down. It's really very clever. The African buffalo, one of the big 5, the most dangerous here. And I like this one. Look at the face as if it's being tattooed or something. They love water, of course, and once in water, all sorts of ox pickers. There are 2 types of ox pickers. I'll show them. They have bath also with the buffaloes. They drink water, they do their bath and everything. They just live together all the time. Although, because they can be compatible, I suppose. So this is another group of buffaloes. We went in water and unlocked the overlap of all these. This was a juvenile one, lighter color. And they always come in hundreds, not like 1 or 2 or 10 or 20. They always come in many hundreds. So this is what I love, of course, photographing birds. And this is the black-bird barbet. Picking some of these berries. This is in the campsite. And this is the crusted barbet. Just look at the colors. It's just incredibly beautiful. As you can see it here. This is probably a juvenile. No, hasn't got all the colors that this male developed. This is the back, the 3 or 5. It lasts thousands of years, not hundreds of years. And of course, the secret that it can store water. It's huge, right? And can survive all sorts of weathers. And it's full with nests. You see how many nests. This is the dry season, so it's no leaves. Spectacular. So this is the cheetah. we spent like probably 6 hours just to take this photo. Well, because they were just lying around and they were like 150 meters away. And again, this is where you have a big lens. This is very useful. And they didn't do much. After 6 hours, they decided they're not going anywhere. And you can't do anything either. And this is what's threatening. And I said, yes, now they're going to do something, but they didn't.
I didn't.
Of course, there aren't many. There are only a few hundred jeeps in this huge park. So we were really lucky that we saw at least some of them. Crocodiles, there are heaps of crocodiles. Whenever there's water, there are crocodiles, and many of them. And some of them dark colored and some discolored, yellow. Well, yellowish, I would say. Quality. So this is the dark capped biltong. This is the South African one, characterized by this yellow bottom and beautiful sounds. This is what this family of do. And it's often in Dubai, this one, not in South Africa. I saw their cousins. It's called the white-eared bulbul. So I said, well, I'll put the two to show you why this is called the dark caps. Is it time for me to start? Anyways, so this is the yellow-fronted canary birds drinking water. And it's, again, spectacular news. More than 30 of them came at the same time, drank water and just went immediately. Again, this is probably between 80 to 100 meters away. Those great lads managed to photograph them. But there are, again, about 5 or 6 different types of dogs. This is the spotted wood dog. And this is laughing dog. They're also beautiful. The great go away bird. I don't know why they call them this, but anyway, this is what they call this bird. And it's really, I love the background, the way that you can see all its playing. I have many photos of these because you can see many of them, and flying or hearing or whatever. This one I found. Well, this one, the purple crested caracal. This is the only photo that I managed to take, and the only time that I saw this bird. So it's a very rare to see this bird, but it's the most beautiful bird. I had to go into a gate which says no entry, only authorized people. I said, this bird will be arrested for. And I went and only allow me this one photo, and it was a huge tree. It was high on the tree and also very dense, as you can see, leaves and all these things, but very difficult. But when I saw it on other photos, it's a spectacular. It has red wings. So when standard wing, it's red, which is spectacular. And look at it. There's no color that's not there. But anyway, I couldn't get a better photo. So now the pond. This one is the yellow pond. If you remember, this one is the Lion King movie. It's a very playful, beautiful bird. And here it was actually downside. There was another, the female was on the other branch, but unfortunately far away that I couldn't photograph both of them. And this is the red hornbill, also searching for some insects. Difference between the Douglas, the bell. And this one is the trumpeter hornbill. This one, again, very difficult to see. I saw it only once. And even the guide said, you don't see this bird, so I'm very lucky that I managed to see it and photograph it. And it got really very strange arrangements for bell. So some of these birds that I'm showing, I saw it only once for like probably a couple of minutes. And some of the birds, you can see them everywhere. This is the, so this one you don't see just by chance. So a group of elephants came also to the waterfall, drinking water, playing, and they're really very playful. And I have many videos and various other things. Of course, I cannot probably have that vision. So this is not at a waterfall, actually in a riverbed, but elephants managed to dig and get the water, underground water. And once they managed to get that, they kind of splash water on those. I think these are some young elephants that accompany this adult. But it's so funny because one time they splash water on this one, and the next time on the other one. Keep doing this. Giraffe, it's a very elegant animal, but when it comes to drinking water, it's really very tricky. And we watched this giraffe. It took probably 15 minutes just to go because it has to check that there's no predator, no lions, no anything. Because once it's spread its legs and went down, it's really very hard to get up. So I captured this when it lifted its head and this beautiful trace of water. I mean, these are the things that you see when you go to safari, as opposed to looking at the giraffe in a zoo, isn't it? So those two giraffes, I wasn't sure whether are they romancing or are they fighting? But probably they were, because the fight was very kind of mild, so it must be romancing. I chose one of these photos that looks sort of more. Yes.
Behind the left-hand side giraffe, between those two bushes, what's that in the grass?
Can you point here?
Yeah.
Ah, this is just the plant and just a bush. Ah, yeah, it looks somebody's standing. I actually noticed sometimes I take a photo and then I discover there was something behind. Okay, so now I'll show you a bunch of eagles. The first one is the Marshall eagle. And it really hunts those thin bucks because they're small. So I saw lots of photos where the Marshall managed to capture them. But the one that I photographed, which I wanted to show the head, because I have zillion photos of heads, as you can imagine. But this I showed of the head. And it's a spectacular, it's one of the largest eagles in Africa. I think it's the 5th largest eagle. It's so handsome. Just look at the colors, the eyes, this shows the whole thing, the tail, legs, and this is the whole. It means that it ate every single thing and only left the head. This is the butler eagle. And this is a snake eating eagle. Spectacular, great beak and feet. It depends on the light. From here, I was really, because we not allowed to leave the car. So you have to remember that the angle at which it depends on where the car and where I am sitting. And just the car moved a little bit, like there's a wee bit more light, so you can see different. The greater spotted eagle, it's another huge eagle. And there is the lesser spotted eagle, a wee bit smaller than this one. The tawny eagle. You see a lot of tawny eagles here. But the butler is not so, you don't see many of them. The African fish eagle, the spectacular eagle, it's always hang around water, waiting for its fish. The helmeted unicorn. I like this more artistic photo with the bush behind them. You don't see one of them. They're always in a group of hens. So this is a group of them. And by the way, this is not a reflection. This is, I just inverted the photo because this half was empty. And I said, I have to fill it with something. And I just inverted it and it looks better, isn't it? This is the Hadida ibis. Completely different than the ibis that we know in Australia. It's kind of more metallic. I mean, just look at it. As if made of metal. Look at it. I photographed probably between 80 to 90 different bird species. So of course, I'm not showing all of them. But these are some of them on that I managed to select. This is the hammer pole. And you can see why they call it hammer. Look at the head. And it's a hand fish. Really, it's kind of small. The fish. Actually, I got a photo of this bird catching a fish, but the fish was so small that's not worth showing it. But anyway, you see that he's happy with that. Those are the doublers, and they're very social. They're very noisy, but they're really beautiful. And this is just one of the shows. This show them. They do all sorts of things. So now I'll move into the herons, and this is the gray heron. It's spectacular, really huge, one of the largest. No, the largest I'll show next time. So this is the largest. The gullet heron. Just captured flying. And this is the elephant river. So even in the dry season, it looks really beautiful. This is the close-up, the gullet. This is the largest heron. Let's see. Well, this is the white heron, but with the white face whistling ducks. They are really beautiful ducks. So these are gray heron and a couple of turtles on stones in the water hole. And then the stones turn out to be two hippos. I mean, things you see there are just incredible. So talking about hippos, again, one of the most dangerous animals. Just look at the teeth here. This is what it's supposed to have. And I took a photo for a hippo cleaning its teeth. It was a tree in the water, came and brushed his teeth. I said, this is his toothbrush. Hyenas. Hyenas belong to the ugly five, but I disagree. They're really also beautiful animals. And they hunt. They don't just, they're not scavengers as people think. This is the dry season. Again, you see the grass. And all animals kind of blend, camouflage with the grass through the first lines. This is the black-backed hippo. So this is water that sort of, there's a water pump, solar operated water pump that provide water in areas with no waterfalls. So again, animals, they come and water. So they don't rely only on. And just look at this high kingfisher. This, I love this position from the back. Looks like, I don't know, hoovering, and this one is diving. So there are 4 or 5 or 6 different types of kingfishers. This is the pipe. And this is the biggest, the giant kingfisher. It's really very big. But I couldn't capture him flying. It's a really beautiful brown orange chest. Really. The curry mustard. Beautiful color. This is the biggest bird that still can fly. The next biggest one is the ostrich that cannot fly. This one, the biggest one, but still can fly. This is something, of course, when people see leopard, there are like 10 cars and everybody is crazy about them because they are really spectacular, and there are only 300 in the entire park, 300 of them. We saw them 4 times, so it was really great, you know, started. We managed to see them 4 times. Just look at that fur. By the way, he was here hiding from a group of lions on the other side. So he was waiting for them to move so that he escaped. By the way, this one is a male. You can tell from the kind of big head. And this one is a female with a smaller. It just came down the tree. So when we take a photo like this, we say, this is it. That's enough for the day. And look at this bird. Lilac-breasted roller. So they say the feather of this bird used to be like groom will take a feather and give the bride to show his love, passion, and all these things. Took these photos, I didn't know that I took them. This is what I was, because I, of course, think it's 40 frames per second, so I understood it. Then, wow, this. And this is worth going to South Africa for. I'm saying. Those are the lions on the other side of the water. And this is what they're doing. Just sitting, filling around. Nobody messes with them. 3 male lions in their peak time, so they're the kings. And I again captured this with this little one. I don't know if they're not happy with me or just decided to do that at the time.
I think brothers, so.
Yeah.
They must be brothers. They don't hang have this relation. But all the animals came that I showed you, the impalas and all the many other things I didn't show. And they didn't about them. So they were really not angry, I suppose. Or they're waiting for the lioness to come and do the job for them. This is as close as I managed to get to a lion. It was only 2 meters away from me. But they don't attack the cars. And the reason they don't look at individual people in the car. They look at the car as a whole thing and say, well, this we cannot do anything about. And this is why, yeah, he was like 2 meters from me, this smell line, but didn't even look at us. Lioness drinking water. And this one was on the other side of the river. It's again, this is why I keep saying the longer lens is really essential. Okay, so take this photo, it took us probably 3 hours or more. So what happened? I mean, there's a long story, but lions were on the other side of the river. But there were on our side a group of baboons. So this lioness decided to come after the baboons. The baboons, of course, started to make a huge noise and they ran away and they disappeared. So by the time this lion came our side, nothing. So we waited. It so happened this huge group of buffaloes came and he attacked them, or she attacked them. And this was the only window that I have from my position to take. And this is the only photo that the 6 of us managed to take. So it's just by luck that I was looking into this gap and this happened.
And did she get one?
Sorry?
Did she get one of them?
No. When there's a huge group like this, it's very difficult for them to get. Because as you can see, all those multiples will attack and she was on its own. So it's very hard.
She got radio comm.
This one, exactly, she got the, she must be an important, most likely an elite. Magpie track. Beautiful long tail. Managed to get a group of them here flying. I must say there are many beautiful birds here. This is another roller, the purple roller. Also has blue wings, like the wings. Ostriches. It's really beautiful combination of color and shape. Of course, it is the largest bird. And it's the male. Then, an elephant didn't like that. Elephants are really very territorial and they don't want anything. I have many of elephants chasing other animals, but I like this one. Of course, the ostrich is way faster than elephant, but it's still try to chase. And I like, look at the ears and rank and all these things. Looks that it's really so happy. And play, running. And even the feather, look at the feather, it's completely different than here, isn't it? As if when it's run, there's more white feathers. So these are the red-billed ox pickers. They accompany any animal, in this case, zebra. So the pattern is really beautiful, black and white. So these are the red-billed. These two are the yellow buffalo. The black, the names, no, sorry, yeah. Black rhinos. We saw 7 of them in one occasion, 1 in another. So we saw them 3 times, but this time was like the best. We saw 7 of them. Again, there aren't many of them, and it's unfortunate that they all have their own cuts because of tortures, or even in protected national parks, they operate. Sometimes they kill animals for them. So what they use the horn for? Now they use it just for like headache. I said, why don't you use gas paracetamol? They kill a beautiful animal like this for just headache. It's spectacular. I mean, you immediately see the dinosaur era, isn't it? When you look at them. The weaver, and I have photos for their nest. Beautiful day. And probably 50, 60 of them live in one big nest. They're very social. I took this photo in the campsite. This bird came, got some flowers. The double-banded sandburrows and skirt pond. There are, again, few types of them. I'm showing just a couple. This is the three bands. One, two, and this one I support the three banded total. And also managed to catch them mating. So no privacy, essentially. It's a beautiful little bird. I photographed this at a bird hide. There was one bird hide that we went to. It's also when we're looking at the water holes. These birds, the Hannah and this was bird. This is the vervet's monkey. This photo, again, the light is right. Sucking his toe, I think. They're very playful. They got very long tail. And in one of the restaurants, one of the campsite restaurants, I saw them, they came and they steal food. So now I'm going to show you some vultures. This is the white-headed vulture, a spectacular bird. Taking off. This is again at the water hole, as you can see. So came to drink some water. And you can see the feet is very muddy. The hooded vulture. And this is the white-backed vulture feeding its chick. They have three huge nests. Well, I like the tail. They're incredibly fast when they run. Can overrun anything, lions and leopards. The blue, the wildebeest, I didn't know that there are blue and black, but the one in Kruger Park are the blue wildebeest. And this again gives you an idea about the dry season animals. They're all, wherever they're wildebeest, they're also zebras. This is most of the area. It looks something like this, which is good for photography because you can see the animal and photograph them. In the wet season, everything is high, difficult to see. Sorry. This is the male with, if you notice, there's a little bit of red here. This is the female. These were at, again, the campsite. There's to capture them. They're really beautiful. Now I'll show you stock. This is the African open-bill stock. And I love the yellow. This is the black neck stock, and they really perform beautiful dance. But what happened, of course, he kept dancing, and this followed. I don't know whether this is male or female. And they went behind a tree and they both started to dance. And I couldn't photograph that one. So anyway, one of them at least. This is the saddle bill store. Look at the beautiful combination of red, yellow, black. You see this bird on all books on South Africa. On the cover, they always use this one because of, there's a crocodile just behind. But when the stock saw the crocodile, it freaked. Yes. These are the yellow bill stock performing a dance or something. This is the Marabo stock, considered one of the ugly five. And I'm just interpreting what this guy is. He's looking at his reflection, and he's saying telling his friend why they put us on the ugly list. We look gorgeous. This is another funny one. So this stock is laughing. Anyway, this is my interpretation. And this is the yellow bill stock riding a crocodile. And this saying, well, this is the first time I see this. Anyway, I have many photos of the yellow bill on crocodiles, and it seemed that the crocodile is fine because the stock is I think picking something from the skin. They don't mind. And this is the African woolly stock. Look at the name. It really looks like beautiful. And they always hang on trees. I don't know why. Give them probably better views. This they call it water thick green. This one for reflection. Looks like the bush stone pearl that we see in Australia, but a wee bit different. So, right at zebras. this photo shows the baby zebra. Oh. And of course, there are no two zebras that have the same pattern as the dog. And then we had to stop because it was zebra crossing. So I kind of learned where this comes from. So this is a spectacular scene where hundreds and hundreds, we estimated about 800 to 1,000 buffaloes came to this water, what's left in the river. This is a whole river, but this is what's left. And they came, and it was almost 5 o'clock, so it's sunset with the dust. And I mean, it's just a spectacular views to see this. A group of elephants also joined, and there was all sort of things happening at this little water left here. But it's really spectacular to see something like this. Of course, the low sun helped to exaggerate the dust coming from movement of these. Okay, so I started my talk with the sunrise. I finished it with the sunset. But just before I finish, I have to talk about this. This is called leadwood tree. You see a lot of them in Africa. And you see them standing for tens of years. They don't disintegrate, no termite can attack them, nothing. The reason they call them leadwood, because it's very, very dense and very heavy, that it will submerge, it will not float if you put them in water. So dense. And when they burn them, it's excellent fuel. And the ash they use as a toothpaste. And the Africans say this is why our teeth are very, very white, because we're using this natural toothpaste. In sunset like this, just and this is the exact color. Of course, when the sun goes down, something like this. I'll stop here and say good night. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maan. What a fabulous trip, and some truly tremendous photos. I can't wait to get back there, over there. So that's great. We've got some time for some questions. I'm going to start it off with the line of the line of buffaloes at the waterhole, which is a great photo. It had elephants behind it, and I wondered whether the elephants were put off by the buffalo being at the front there. Were they?
Not really. Elephants are afraid of nothing.
Yeah.
So they came down and chased the buffaloes.
Oh, okay.
And I have photos with the elephant chasing the buffalo. But anyways, the number of elephants were really small compared to the number of buffaloes. So they only affected small number that were close to where I showed the tree. Yeah. So they interacted.
I'll ask my next question. With the three elephants, one was that was squirting the water at one of them, and then at the other one, was that to cool the mates down, or why were they doing? Why was he doing that?
Don't ask me. I'm not an elephant expert, but it was hot and presumably was cooling down its kids because elephants, they keep their we call elephant baby. They keep them for about 8 years. So it's a long time. Anyway, but it was really interesting that they dig these holes in the riverbed, find the water, and then they suck and splash the water over the cliffs.
That's quite something.
Yes.
Other questions?
Yeah, with the three-year line, the middle and licking its lips, were they thinking looking towards you? What would it taste like?
Exactly, that is what I was thinking. But as I said, they were really far away from us. But of course, we were waiting for them to do something with all the other animals that came to drink water, but they just didn't bother. But anyway, that photo with the three of them, I love. Yes.
Did you see many reptiles? Noted sort of, birds and mammals and the like. There were quite as many reptiles.
Photographed skink, two types of them. One is called the rainbow, and one is the striped skink. And also we saw the chameleons. Other than the crocodiles, big ones, we didn't see others in water anyway.
And no snakes.
Well, there are snakes, but I couldn't see. I even photographed lots of rocks and then looked to see whether I can find any. I couldn't find snakes. They say that they will usually appear at night, not during the day.
Any last question?
They hibernated, don't they, the snake?
They do, yeah. And I don't know whether the season that we were there, I saw a couple of photos for people who managed to see snake. But we definitely, during the 15 days there, we leave at 6 o'clock in the morning, back at 6 o'clock in the evening. So like 12 hours on the road. And we never saw anyone.
One last question. Anyone?
What did you do in the evening?
That's, I actually have photos. We have to sleep early because we have to be in the car at 5:20 in the morning. Okay. Well, the organizer of this trip, Mark, he was an air traffic controller before. So we have to be really dead on time. We did not miss a minute. He was really on time. And we love that because this is how I managed to see so many things, because we really been on the road to photograph. But yeah, so at night we have dinner, then we go to bed. Actually, we have a shower and then go to bed, and that's it. Some will process their photos. I didn't do that. Yeah. But the last night they took us in the bush, and they arranged a barbecue for us. And a couple of hyenas came, actually, because this is the first time that we were outside the campsite. So there's no fence, no nothing. And this is the first time the guy took a rifle, because we were because they said one time a group of elephants came and we have to run away. Anyway, so at night, not much happening. We hear
the lions, the hyenas and various other things you hear them, but we don't see it much. Yeah.
Excellent presentation, Maan. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A little official treat and recognition, Maan.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, so moving, yep. So just a few notices before members' images and field trips. We've got the new honours rules all tidied up. Thank you, Caroline, and the honours board for helping with that, and the committee for going through those. And so we've got a workshop on the 10th of November for anyone thinking about honours or wanting to know more about it. So please sign up for that. Just as far as the categories go, we've tweaked them a little bit. We've got natural environment and wildlife, or the natural history piece, so that hasn't really changed. We've got impact of humans on nature, and within that, we're now making sure that we're allowing you to put a theme to that one. Well, you can't really do photojournalism without a theme. You certainly try and do it without one, but it probably works better with one. And then the creative category we've changed to nature open, and so it still allows for creative photography within that, but it's got a little bit more, leeway with landscapes and the images that you're actually making. So we'll get that up on the website shortly, but if you're interested to know more or wanting to look at your honours, the workshop on the 10th of November will be worth signing up for. Just a reminder too, the fun competition will start in the next newsletter. We'll probably come up with an email address to send those photos through to. And remember, it's called And Then There Were Three. So, imagination, think what And Then There Were Three. Just before we look at the field trips, Nadine's got a few things on the back table, a calendar, some cards, and some other stuff that she's put together for people to look at. And if you want to buy any, please see Nadine on that one. And we can go to field trips. So Caro's going to do a field trip in the Heritage Rose Garden, 22nd. So a couple of days' time, please sign up for that. We'll just meet Feastbell. Same day trip. Terry, anything you want to say about that, Lindley?
Oh, no. No. Oh, sorry.
It's full. Yeah, it's full. Yeah.
Okay.
On this workshop, mentioned that before. The other thing that we've got with that is Murray Cave will join us for a bit and talk about his process or his road to getting his fellowship. Arthur's Pass day trip with Robin on the 22nd of November. A chance to get to Temple Basin and then hopefully find some of the ranunculuses. And then a similar trip on the 13th of December to Mount Cheeseman, once again looking at alpine plants and to see little pen wipers and other things up there. And then Waiuta next year in May near Reefton and West Coast. I've booked the whole place there. We can accommodate up to 24 people. We'll adjust the price depending on how many people actually come, but good chance to see an historic part of New Zealand. Hopefully mushrooms and fungi. Anything else that is of interest? I think that's all we've got at the moment. We'll go on to members' images. In the second, please remember to bring the microphone to you you say your name and you talk about your images.
All right, Robert, stop me.
Well, I just returned from a month doing some photography in Scotland, the Faroe Islands, and Norway. And like anyone who goes to Scotland, getting up early in the morning and going for a walk on the Kerrang, perhaps morning light is mandatory. So that's the Kerrang at dawn or just after dawn. And one of the few days, and it wasn't pouring with rain in the Isle of Skye. And on the way up through, oh goodness, I've gone blank on that. What's the famous area that really goes? Glencoe, of course. That was the only thing I saw of Glencoe. It was completely washed out, and then suddenly there was a break in the weather just as we came past this famous spot, and I managed to get that shot. So now I couldn't get any real wildlife, but at Dunrobin Castle they had some falconry, so this is peregrine falcon coming in the land. It's an Icelandic falcon who was flying around at an incredible rate of knots, and I felt lucky that I even got one in focus. Much quick to a Z8, I think. And they had a barn owl, which was just beautiful to see. Now, the next and last photo is a bit of a story. When I was in Greenland, I could not see any muskox at all. And I'd heard that there were some muskox at a national park in the just south of Trondheim. So on our way back, we called in there for the day and went for a hike with a guide to see if we could find some muskox, which we did. He told us that he normally walks about 17 kilometres before they manage to find them. We got them within about 5 kilometres of the car park. It's quite fortunate. I managed to get a shot of something that's quite rare and difficult. They're only in Siberia, Greenland, Norway, and I think there's a few in Canada at a national park.
Oh, this is Barry. Kara and I just come back from a month in Australia, so if you've been down the Great Ocean Road, this is on a very windy day. There's a brand new platform that's cantilevered out, it's vibrating in the wind. So beautiful coastline. Now, we also went to South Australia, so this is a red-backed parrot. It's by the Murray River. And there's a beautiful public gardens in Adelaide Hills. So couldn't miss this little colour. And on the way home through, there's a place called Mill, which is about 300 k's from Murray Bridge. That's a night here in this beautiful little swamp area. And then lastly, I spent half a day out at the Hillsville Sanctuary, which is about 60 k's northeast of Melbourne. Absolutely magnificent birds collection out there. It's really easy. That's a hike. Because they have a display there where they let the raptors out and do a bit of their own thing. That's a frogmouth, so we're just sitting there very quietly. Some of the photography there is a bit difficult because it's under shade. So you have enormous ISO, and that eagle photo was during the middle of the day, so it was pretty challenging light. But absolutely beautiful place.
We stopped on the side of the road to take photos of an abandoned house, and I noticed this beautiful little low-growing bush, an extremely dry area. So I had to Google to see what it was. We didn't see any others anywhere else. This was the only place we saw them. And it's apparently a rosy blue bush, or Myliana. This was near Cradle Mountain, and I've just realised I forgot to crop that on the right-hand side. So I never dreamt that I would see gum trees in the snow, but we had 3 days where it was snowy. This was at Cataract Gorge. This is apparently very rare to see this zeolite crystals on dolerite rock, which was the main rock in the Cataract Gorge. So there was a sign asking, please don't touch these. They're extremely rare. And I watched this cloud forming as we were driving along the eastern coast of Tasmania. And when we got to this place, it's called Spiky Bridge, which you can see in the foreground there. That beautiful cloud really deserved a photo of its own, but I needed a bit of foreground as well. And at the Hobart Botanic Gardens, they had a sub-Antarctic island house. And this was one of the really interesting plants here, a quarry mega daisy, very, very hairy leaves. And this was part of the trunk of a Moreton Bay fig tree, which caught my eye. That was very unusual. I think it's a root, but anyway, the trunk was absolutely enormous, and this was just tiny little bit kind of hidden in amongst all the folds.
Sorry. I was looking for some spider photographs on my naturalist setup collection, and I got distracted by my photographs of ladybugs or ladybirds or lady beetles, whichever you prefer. This is a 11-spotted ladybird. It's a Travis wetlands actually. I just happened to find it when I was looking for a spider. I think I'm interested in spiders, mightn't you? This one here's a harlequin or Asian ladybird. The one on the right is the pupa, and it hatches out to that big ghastly thing on the left. Most gardeners do not like to see those because they eat all the aphids up, and our ladybirds, the natural ones, seem to die out. That was in Victoria Park. This one here's got a little interesting story. This white background is the door frame to the bathroom. So I was going to have a shower, so I was in a state of reasonable undress when I saw this. And I thought, oh, a 2-spotted ladybird, I better get my camera. So I ran down to a lounge in my near nudity. I wasn't completely naked, but near enough. Grabbed my camera, stuck the flash on, grabbed the diffuser, and ran back up here to the doorway, and it hadn't moved at all. So I managed to get a couple of photographs of that nice little thing. Never seen a 2-spotted one since. Tasmanian ladybird. This was in Richmond. They eat fungi mostly, and the other photograph I've got of another one, it's so many bits of fungus on it, I just thought, I can't be bothered taking all those spots off. I'll use this one instead. So nice, I quite like that flower. And the last one is my favourite steel blue ladybird. based on. There's a challenge to photographing ladybirds. They're pretty small. And secondly, because they're on a leaf, you can't use the camera right up close to them. You start folding the leaf. So I've taken many photographs of ladybirds, which haven't looked out. Thanks. Oh, that one there was Whitewater.
Excellent. Sorry, Greg.
John Leafman. This is a set of 4 images that I submitted to the New Zealand Landscape Diary. That one's a bit cliche, but it was such a gorgeous morning. Apart from the 80 bird, it's maybe it's the brief at 12 Mile Bluff. Set up with cotton with the starfish. Run and gun shot on dusky track up the Seaforth River, Dusty Sound. The last one's from the Calorie Gorge. That was the one image that I got accepted into the cells.
Oh, it's me. Okay, so I was lucky to have to go to Sydney recently, but I was reliant on public transport. So I went down to the Botanic Gardens and I decided that bin chickens are actually beautiful birds. So this is a bin chicken, an Australian ibis. They've got the same red underneath their wings that the spoonbills have. So there must be some sort of a correlation somewhere. Yeah, okay, that one's cropped itself out. You can't see the eye of the bird, but it was beautiful. Interesting. Okay, this is an eastern water dragon. So that was in the Botanic Gardens as well, just going across the path. You can see underneath it, it's actually a paved area, but it was quite happy. Sat there for me for a while. I was very close. Lorikeet in something or other tree. I really looked that one up. And then I was just on my way out of the park and this kookaburra jumped into a tree above me, so he posed for me. So there you go, urban Sydney. That's everything. Back to Robert.
Thanks, everyone. So we'll have a tea if you put the chairs back, but just leave the space around the cupboard as usual so we can suck away. And if you want to sign up for any of the field trips, catch up with Kent at the back. Thanks, everyone.
Well, yeah. Thank you.